Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt here with Shannon Salmon. We're going to be telling you about the Supreme Court cases that came out. Number one, transgender athletes cannot participate in biological female sports. Number two, birthright citizenship. And number three, political parties can give as much money as they want to political candidates.
Ooh, you got some good ones today.
Yes, ma'am.
That's interesting.
So first, Shannon, I want to talk about the transgender case. It was
This is going to be a hot topic. How are you going to not offend people? You're going to get some comments, Todd. I think you're very brave to take this issue on.
I'm just going to read the news.
Okay. Good plan.
I'm just going to talk about the case.
Okay. Love it.
So this is West Virginia versus B.P.J. It was about a West Virginian law that banned transgender athletes from participating in female sports, and also an Idaho law.
So that would
did
be
the same thing.
Somebody born as a male that had transitioned and was now a female and wanted to play in female sports.
Right.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm following you.
So I wanted to ask you.
Oh, okay. I see what you're going to do
Are
here.
there differences between male and females?
Yeah. I think my dad and I think my parents gave me this speech when I was a teenager. Yes, there are.
Okay. And so why do you think that these people filed, or why do you think that the states enacted these laws?
Which ones? Tell me again.
To ban transgender athletes.
And it's a state law?
Yes.
Did they have some complaints? I mean, can we presume that West Virginia is a conservative place, that they lean more right as opposed to liberal left?
I would think so.
Okay.
So they cited safety concerns and unfair competition.
Well, we have to talk about religion. You know that there's got to be some moral and ethical underpinnings of what they were actually thinking, right? Shall we go there?
Well, I don't remember any book of the Bible that mentions transgender athletes.
Right. Transgender, period? Does anything come to mind?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. I can't. I'm racking my brain here.
So I wanted to give some examples.
And if you find them, put them in the comments.
Of course.
And like and subscribe. And share.
That's right. So safety concerns.
Okay.
There was Peyton McNabb, a biological female playing volleyball.
Yeah.
Was struck in the head and face by a spike from a biological male identifying as a transgender female.
Right.
Peyton was knocked unconscious, suffered a concussion, neck injury, brain injury, and black eyes.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to let you off the hook. What do you think of that?
Well, if my daughter was playing volleyball, which she did when she was younger, and there was a larger person.
Someone born a male.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that that's unfair, and I think that somebody could get hurt.
Okay. I'll take the other side then and say that it would violate the due process rights if somebody was born a male and then they want to transition to female. It would violate their due process rights to not allow them to play sports as a female, and that sports are inherently dangerous. And when you're signing up to play volleyball, you are signing up that you possibly are going to get elbowed in the face. You know, we've talked about these cases before. I've handled a case like that where some of the parents got mad. There was a fight that had happened in a child's basketball game, but the court found that when you're signing up for these sports, when you're playing sports, you're just inherently, implicitly saying you could possibly get hurt, so you can't turn around and sue.
Yeah, I would agree that sports are inherently dangerous.
Yeah.
But in this case, they did evaluate whether these state laws violated due process.
Okay.
And they found no.
Okay.
That because of Title IX.
And these are all mostly, what number are we at now where these are Trump appointees now?
Well, we're just supposed to be talking about what the case said, Shannon.
All right.
So
You did give your opinion, though. I thought that was
the
very
Equal
brave.
Protection Clause was ratified in 1868. It says no state shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Laws that classify by sex are subject to what is known as intermediate scrutiny. Sex-based classifications are permissible only when the classification is substantially related to achieving an important government objective.
But we're in uncharted territory. I mean, I can't think of a single provision of the Constitution that ever would have contemplated or foreseen gender transitioning. Is that a fair statement?
I agree with that. My grandparents would be shocked.
You think? Yeah. And then how much more our ancestors that wrote, some of my ancestors were not there, but
I was thinking about this on the drive over here. I think to allow a biological male to play in sports with females violates Title IX, because Title IX said that there had to be separate teams for males and females.
Oh, that's an interesting take. I didn't think of that one. Okay.
And here the plaintiff in the original case, the students that were transgender transitioning to female, they tried to use Title IX to say that they had a right to play on the women's team because they identified as women.
Gotcha. Well, if they're fully transitioned, they are women, according to our laws right now. Our laws allow this.
Okay. I don't know that much about...
Well, when you use
When do you know? How do you find out that you're fully transitioned?
It's a surgical procedure. And so if you have the genitalia surgery, then that's complete. You're a woman under our laws.
Okay.
Comment.
No, comments, please.
Yes,
yeah.
Comments to Todd Marquardt.
Okay, well, we have to stop talking about that case because we have to move on.
Okay, that's a good one, though.
So the next case is about birthright.
And can I put in real quickly that there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that people don't understand, like how difficult it is when you have to get your ID. My position is more of a left position, and I think people that are transitioning are being put under, they're already going through something very difficult, and then our laws make it even more difficult. Our current jail, it's hard to get people in the right place. It just creates a lot of problems, and our society could be dealing with them in a kinder, more compassionate way. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so birthright citizenship. We've talked about this before. And the Supreme Court finally weighed in on it.
Yeah.
And so the spoiler alert is that the Supreme Court said that if you're born here, you're a citizen.
Okay.
But I like to go back to the reasons why they found that. And it really gets me excited that they went back to English common law.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So... Back in 1603,
you're a law nerd, Todd.
King James I united Britain and Scotland.
Okay.
And so, but what that did is that created a question about what happens if a Scottish child born after 1603 wanted to file a real estate lawsuit. Would he be allowed to do that as a citizen of Great Britain, or would they consider him to be an alien of the jurisdiction?
Right. And would this be an interesting topic for a radio show in San Antonio, Texas in 2026?
So the court found that if you're born there, you're a subject of the crown, whether you're in Scotland or England.
Okay.
And so that was precedent for some other rulings that happened in the United States. But first, you might remember in 1857, in the case of Dred Scott, the Supreme Court ruled that people of African descent, whether enslaved or free, were not citizens.
Yeah, I remember. That's the part that was really, I couldn't get my brain around that we were actually debating something from 1857. You know, that this is really on the table. We're going to reevaluate this.
Even though the
whether African Americans are people or not. Like, we're really going there.
Even though the Declaration of Independence said all men are created equal.
Right, yeah. You think they'll ever change it and add women? We should do that. We should champion that.
I'll support you on that. So, what happened after the Dred Scott decision?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember?
No, tell me.
They passed the 14th Amendment.
Oh, yeah.
And in that amendment, it says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States.
Yeah.
And so what President Trump's executive order said is that if your parents are illegal and you're born in the United States, you're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof because your parents are subject to the jurisdiction of another country.
Right. And then we talked about that Wong case.
We did.
Yeah.
So that was next.
Yeah.
And that's where the Supreme Court was evaluating whether this 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act was constitutional. It denied citizenship to the Chinese immigrants and their children, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the Supreme Court said that because of the 14th Amendment, they're citizens. And that's been the law since 1882.
Yeah.
And because of Trump's executive order, we had to reevaluate that.
Yeah. How much of our tax dollars do you think we spent on this little journey we just went on?
Well, the problem is that some immigrants come to the United States just to have a baby.
Okay. And this is a problem because, I mean, the numbers are so great.
Part of the problem is that China is an adversary of the United States. And they send their citizens here for this purpose so that their children can be citizens of the United States, with some evil ploy to somehow use that against us in the future.
Okay. And the numbers are really high, and this was really...
I don't know the statistics on that.
Yeah. Your friend, the one, what's his name?
George Rodriguez.
How did you know? We've been friends too long. You could read my mind already. Yeah, he would say that immigrants are bringing down the economy, and, you know, he kind of seems to equate immigrant with pariah, you know. So there's a different philosophy, because I think that we're built on immigration, so immigrants make our country great. Well, diversity is our greatness.
There might be some immigrants that use more government benefits than others. Mm-hmm. There's probably statistics on that as well. Mm-hmm. We should ask George.
No.
Okay, so this was the case of Trump versus Barbara.
Are you happy with that decision, the birthright citizenship?
Well, the last time we talked about this, you posed a question about whether, what would be the result if we weren't born citizens? Then what is your citizenship based on? Your parents?
Right, so you'd create a whole subculture of people that aren't actually citizens, so you'd have like this, you know, it would create abuse.
And I think that's the way it was in England back in the 1600s.
Right. Maybe the Romans, I think it was hard to get Roman citizenship. I don't know about the history of that very much, but it just seems like we decided a long time ago that it was a very bad idea to have a subclass of people that don't have the same rights as everybody else within your jurisdiction. And I was super annoyed that we wasted all of our time, all of our tax dollars on this little trip. And I knew that they were going to have to find it the way they did, because there's no way to even implement it, even if they did want to do it. So thank you, who was it? Stephen Miller? He's the one, he was the mastermind.
I don't know.
Super annoyed. Stephen Miller, if you're listening, super annoyed with you right now.
I don't know who that
Not a
is.
fan, 0 stars.
So that's Trump versus Barbara. The third case is about campaign finance, and it's very dry reading.
Okay.
Campaign finance law
I bet you can make it interesting, Todd.
very complicated,
Uh-huh.
and they changed precedent.
Oh, yeah?
So in 2001,
I didn't know that, really?
there was a Supreme Court case that said that
Because there's limits, right?
right,
Yeah.
the government can prevent political parties from donating certain amounts of money to their candidates.
Right.
So this case is all about how much money can the political party donate in coordination with the candidate's campaign.
Why would they want to do that? What's the end game?
Well, they want to coordinate because there's practical things that make a difference in the campaign, like when does the commercial air, and
Oh, no, not the coordination. I get that, but why would they want to have unlimited? Why would they want to overturn that precedent?
because
Tell me.
money is speech.
Yeah?
How you spend your money is you talking, and
Yeah.
the First Amendment
Oh,
says
that Citizens United case?
thou shalt not make laws against speech unless you have a very, very good reason.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court in this case said the reason isn't good enough. And the reasons are that they didn't want quid pro quo.
Okay.
They didn't want campaign money being given to influence politicians into voting some way.
So this case is now basically you can buy a campaign if you like?
I think that it's
If you have
going
it.
to dramatically increase the amount of money that's spent on campaigns. But remember, who spent the most so far in history?
Tell me.
Kamala Harris.
Okay. And
She-
didn't win?
She spent $1 billion
Oh,
on her campaign.
snap. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And so can you imagine just how much more is going to go into it now?
Yeah. And so that can't be good for, it's not what our founders would have wanted. Can you imagine? They must be spinning in their graves.
Well, you can't limit speech, and money is speech.
But would they want campaigns to be up for sale to the highest bidder?
Well, the other side has the equal opportunity to spend an equal amount and get their message out.
I don't think representational democracy was set up for this. I mean, it's the same thing like the transgender issue. I don't think they could have foreseen this. You know, when they were writing the Second Amendment, they weren't thinking like, we'll have assault rifles that, you know, there's just so many new. Are you a purist?
I am. We're going to use
Can I hear about that?
the Constitution as it was written, as it was intended.
But you have to, but everything's so, that's too, so you're you literally take it.
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I hear about that? Do we have enough time?
Well, I wanted to talk more about campaign finance.
Okay, I'll
so
stop
if
interrupting.
if I want to contribute to a campaign, I'm limited to $3,500 per election.
Okay, because you're a person.
Just an individual.
Okay.
But the political party can donate as much as they want.
Yeah, so you can donate to your political party.
Right, but here's where they
I
said
wonder which one that would be.
that there's enough tools to prevent quid pro quo, and number one is they can trace earmarking. So that's if like some famous person in Hollywood said, I'm going to give $1 million to the DNC, but I want it to be used for Kamala Harris.
Oh, okay.
That they would say, well, that exceeds your limit, and so you're going to be in trouble for that. The other tool is
I don't see how they could track that. That's my BS detector's going off hardcore on that one.
the other tool.
I can say BS, right?
Don't say it too many times. Mark might push the button. So the other tool is disclosure. You're required to disclose where all your money came from. And the Federal Election Commission can investigate.
Wait, who's required? The contributor or the party?
The party. Well, the candidate.
Okay.
So you just went through an election,
Yep.
and you went through a primary, and so you probably didn't get money from the party. Usually the party only contributes to candidates after the primary for the general election.
True, true, true.
But if they had given you money, that's why it's really important to have a treasurer that knows campaign finance law,
You think? Yeah.
because
That would be very helpful.
They can audit the campaign.
Yeah, that the people I know that are really, really professional politicians, they do have, experts that are their treasurers. My treasurer was my dad,
Well, hopefully he read the law.
It's actually a fun little fact that you don't have, the treasurer has no responsibility. It's just in name only.
Oh, so the candidate's responsible.
Right. But like I said, the really high level professional politicians will get somebody
They'll
that,
hire somebody
that knows it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And those people are invaluable because they have
Well,
that
you've brought
knowledge.
up a lot of interesting points
I
here
did.
today, Shannon.
You did. I just sat here and nodded.
Well, the Supreme Court, as you know, interprets whether these laws are constitutional or not. And that's where the buck stops.
With the Supreme Court.
Right.
Yeah.
And until another Supreme Court can reevaluate their decision.
Yeah.
Like I said, this campaign finance case, which was Federal Election Commission, National Republican Senatorial Committee versus Federal Election Commission.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, they overturned the decision that the Supreme Court made in 2001 because circumstances had changed.
Okay.
And the way that they changed is that now we have the internet. And so when somebody discloses where all their campaign contributions came from, it's very easy for the citizens to see.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever looked up to see who was contributing to a campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. There's transparency here too,
Yeah.
at the local level.
So that's one of the tools that said the government in this case didn't meet the burden to prove that the government had a compelling enough interest in limiting the free speech.
But it all goes back. Do you think they had a plan, the people that wanted to push this agenda? Because it all goes back to that decision where they said money is speech.
Right.
And that, I never really followed that. Money is money. How can money be speech?
Well, because that's how you voice your opinion, by saying, I support this candidate with my money.
But we have a constitution that says all men are created equal. So the guy on the corner holding the sign is supposed to have the same rights as Elon Musk or, Graham Weston or some billionaire. So how can you say money is speech? Because he's supposed to have the same access and the same voice and the same...
I wouldn't equate opportunity with results. Everybody has equal
Come
opportunity.
on, I'm right. You disagree with me,
Everybody has equal opportunity, but not equal results.
Our founding fathers would not agree with this decision.
I don't know.
They wrote all men are created equal.
They said make no law abridging the freedom of speech.
Right. Not money, speech.
Well, if the Supreme Court in that other case had said money isn't speech, then it would be a different story. But we have to end the show.
Are we going to
Shannon.
arm wrestle over this?
Thank you for talking to me about this. You have a lot of good points, but the Supreme Court has ruled, and so we have to go with what they said.
Okay.
But listen to Talk Law Radio, because in the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then he gave Moses the 10 Commandments. And now we have municipal, state, and federal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. So listen to Talk Law Radio. Go to YouTube. subscribe, click the thumbs up, post a comment, and share with your friends.
You should.
We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.